to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd.
Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack.
I don't care if we...
From its beginnings, American women played baseball. But as popular as sports were in America, society had never been able to make up its mind about women in sports. Some viewed sports as a healthy exercise that would strengthen young women and prepare them for motherhood. Others feared that competitive sports would make women less feminine and threaten their marriage prospects, believing that competition itself was against a woman's feminine nature. Philip Wrigley, founder of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, wanted to be sure that fans would come to watch women play ball, no matter how they felt about women athletes. His solution? He emphasized the players' femininity while drilling them in the fundamentals of professional baseball. The women's uniforms became part of the message. These were ladies who could play ball.
I think the uniform was, in the 1940s, a significant part of the drawing of the people, the crowds, the fans that came to the game. As I remember in the 40s, women didn't wear shorts, not in public. You come out with this, and a lot of these gals were really attractive too. Come out with this short uniform, these good-looking legs, and their whole purpose of developing this league or beginning this league, that uniform was a significant part of it.
Some professional and semi-pro softball players wore satin shorts to play ball. Others wore long pants. Wrigley, however, wanted uniforms that were clearly ladylike. He asked his wife Helen for her input and hired Otis Shepard for the job. A well-known graphic artist, Shepard had just redesigned everything connected with the Chicago Cubs baseball team, including Wrigley Field and its new ivy wall. Shepard and Mrs. Wrigley worked together on the All-Americans uniform. It was based on the skating dress worn by the Olympic star Sonja Henie and featured a one-piece tunic dress with a full skirt and satin bloomers underneath. Ann Harnett, the first player to sign, served as a model for showing off the uniform.
The fact that P.K. Wrigley insisted that the spectators knew that those were women out there playing the game by the way they acted, by the uniform, how they dressed off the field, etc., made me realize that that was a very important part of women in sport.
Oh my. Well, playing in those dresses and skirts was something else, but Mr. Wrigley wanted us to look like young ladies and play ball like men, and that's exactly what we did.
Playing in skirts was not easy, for several reasons.
You know, if you look at the original uniform, it's got like 3 yards of material in it. It's got all kinds of extra skirt, and it was to be worn exactly, according to the older women, it was to be worn exactly 1 hand's length above the knee. Well, that's pretty long, and then you try to bend over and pick up a ground ball, you've got mostly skirt and no ball.
Well, it was kind of a full skirt, and I think it bothered the pitchers more than any of us because, you know, they'd wind up and they'd pin over their skirt because it was so full.
It was embarrassing to wear since I grew up as a farm girl and was used to wearing blue jeans. When you put a skirt on that's probably knee length, you feel like you're undressed.
One thing that I didn't like, and when I heard about the Comets and so forth, was the uniforms. I thought, oh my God, I couldn't play in those. I couldn't show my legs like that. You know, being from the farm, you were very modest. And so that was one thing I thought I couldn't do that. But once I played in that, tried out with I played with the Comets at one series, I thought, well, I guess I can wear these uniforms. I never was too crazy about them though.
Players weren't too crazy either about sliding into base wearing skirts. When they slid, accidentally or on purpose, the players suffered what were called strawberries. The top layer of skin on their legs peeled off from the friction of the slide.
Well, when you scratch up your legs, and I tore my knees open twice, you know, and that is, boy, you know, especially in South Bend, that feel was terrible. I had to slide home, scraped his whole knee all out. The blood was pouring right out. So they cleared the bench for where I sit, and the chaperone would clean it up. And then they pour the methylate on it, and you know how that feels. Woo-wee. And then a couple of girls blowing so it don't sting so much. And set me up, went out in the field again.
I hit a lot of home runs. I was a long ball hitter because I didn't like sliding in those short skirts. I did that once in second base, and oh my gosh, that hurt. And so anyways, I always made sure I either get a single, double, triple, or home run. I want to make sure I get to that base without sliding.
Those women would slide, and they'd come in, we call them strawberries, and they'd have a strawberry all the way down their leg, blood running. And we'd stand in front of it and fan it, those that we were playing, while the chaperone put methylate on it. They'd wrap it up, they'd go right back out. They had to slide again, they'd slide.
Well, the chaperone came out right away, rolled you over, and first cleaned it off, and then the mercurochrome. And then, of course, we never complained about anything because they didn't want to take you out of the lineup. We did not want to be taken out of the lineup.
And I'm standing on first and not taking a big lead off, and John Rawlings gives me the steal sign. And I'm thinking to myself, does he know who he's giving a steal sign to? You know, old Turtle Dolly? Well, he thought I could get the pitcher had a high kick, and okay, he's given me the steal sign. I'll show him I can do it. So off I take, and I slid, and I was safe, but I had the biggest, hurtingest strawberry in the whole world. Well, you know, everybody's saying, you know, just shake it off, shake it off. Well, I'm not going to cry out there. I'd like to, but So I eventually, the hit was made and I scored. On goes the methylate, on goes the bandage, big bandage, get out there and play. Well, I did my job. Doesn't hurt till probably the next day, I'm thinking. It doesn't hurt more till the next day. It takes a while for that to go in, but gosh, if John gives me the steal sign again, I'll really cry.
When it's sore, it leaks, but our chaperone was pretty sharp. She made a donut affair and put it across the strawberry so that it wouldn't leak on my clothes, because if it did, man, it would stick to you and you'd try to pull that off and you'd be in agony. But she put that donut affair where it wouldn't touch the, you know, because it would leak.
I was so tired of sliding. And, you know, they had lie on the base paths and lie on the base at that time. And I was just raw all the time, you know, hook sliding, hook sliding. You know, when they said there's no crying in baseball, I have to say, I mean, we wouldn't have thought to cry. I mean, I never saw a woman cry there at all. But I'm going to tell you, those strawberries, and reopening them because I was on base every night, that was not an easy thing, but it's interesting. You didn't think of it till after you slid and, oh, you could hardly get up, you know. But you took it. You know, it's just you toughen.
Despite concerns the players had over the uniform, all Americans played in skirts the entire time the league existed. Players found ways to adjust, but the uniform became an iconic part of the league.
By the time I got to the league, they had really wised up, I'll tell you. We had the first mini skirts. We took out all of the extra material. We tightened it up and we lifted it up so it was right below the tight line, so you could completely spread your legs without any problem. Now, it's still a one-piece dress. The other thing is they want us to continue to keep it cinched in so it looked like we had a waistline, you know. You ever tried to catch and lift your arms and your dress tries to go up in the air? I mean, it's practically impossible. So I kept we'd loosen everything when no one was watching, you know. We'd loosen this decorative belt that we had, which didn't serve any real purpose except being decorative. So we'd loosen that up a little bit, you know.
I think I can say this with a reasonable amount of certainty, too, that if you would have put these women in 1945 in a pant, forget it. It wouldn't have worked. That's the way I see it. It would have been easier on their legs, but I think that was, I've heard Dottie Hunter talk about this, that was the magic. Phil Wrigley was really sharp and his advisors there, the way they put this together.